Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active, even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued, like we talked about prior to.
Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
Sean Diddy aperce una vez. The emblema de lujo y poder y. Influencia in the sector of entertainment. Currently, he se encuentra en situaciones que le presentan circunstancias que lo ubican in situaciones que aparentan ser desfavorables. They are as invisible as the man he has a fiancé. For decades, he has become the flashy personaje que adorno los red carpets. Dominaran las listas de Forbes y lanzaron ostentosos eventos. Eventos presenciados por la creme de la crema. Hollywood, pero hoy en día Diddy ya no exist. The dominant mogul adorned in a designer blouse. Instead, he's locked to a rigido confinamiento. Cell without wind at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn es una entidad ubicada en Brooklyn. Notorious for his brutal reputation, he is famoso por ello. Denied bail and the truth of his scenario. Incarceration has dejado the mundo. Buzzing in disbelief and shock. Curiosidad acerca de como el hombre que alguna vez tuvo. Everything pude decaer tan depressa, it all pude precipitas tan ala.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witnesses.
And Diddy has atravesado la transformación que ha experimentado en justo unos meses en prisión es poco, nothing short of unusual recient cord. Eventus han revelado a personaje que es quien is casi a reflejo de su antigua yo. Observers describieron him como notablemente visible. Lighter con his once enérgico aspecto. Reemplazado por a sofisticado pálido aspecto y. Este ano, visiblemente, has experimentado un cambio de color. Física transformation es una fuerte. Against the Diddy's world, the Diddy's world stands in contrast to the Diddy's world. Evocas a personalidad más grande que la vida. Who antes parecía irresistible, ahora Paris como he looks. A persona que ha sido profundamente impactada por the cruel realidad de la vida en prisión. It's not únicamente el impacto físico que ha tenido. People hablando, es la psicológica. Tormenta que Paris haba despejado him de todo lo que posee. Of his característico seguridad y encanto de confianza y encanto. Claro, y por supuesto.
Incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent till proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent till proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent till proven guilty.
Han, during his period in the Metropolitan Detention Facility, El Centro ha resultado ser aún más sencillo. The facility is renowned for its fame. Conditions desastrosas intensificada, violence intensificada, and carencia de fundamental human comforts for someone similar to Diddy que había trabajado décadas. Surrounded by un lujo inimaginable, the adjustment has resultado particularmente severo. Agonizan los tiempos de comidas gourmet. Prepared by chefs privados and evenings served by private chefs. Inverter en ostentosas mansions en lugar de. Actualmente se enfrenta a un estricto calendario diario. Comidas simples servidas en recipientes de plástico. Y la constante anxiety que conlleva. Ubicarse en un lugar donde la seguridad es primordial. Report never guaranteed su GQ. His anxiety acerca de posible daño has even provocado que él mismo le conduzca a tomar medidas de seguridad. Him to decline los alimentos ofrecidos por la entidad alimentaria. Opting instead to sobrevivir en prisión. Commissary snacks tails as chips and caramels. Embalmed dulces the discrepancia between his y. His par du existencia y su actual realidad. Probably no pude ser más extremo.
All the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone. So,
but what the Diddys? The spectacular fall from grace has fascinado public, igniting infinite rumors and rumors. En relation are the man behind the headlines. Did someone cue once Parisha posa el podada? World at his feet termina en tales circunstancias. Precarious position, la respuesta reside en a. Continua secuencia de responsabilidades tanto jurídicas como personals, tanto legals como personals. Controversies Q han stuck him for a long time. Anos concluyendo en las accusations Q. Now threatened to determine el resto de his existencia. Life in the music mogul once visible. As a visionary emprendedor y cultural activista. Icon ahora se encuentra enfrentándose a sí mismo. Allegations que pueden debilitar su reputación. Perpetuamente la gravedad de la. Accusations amalgamadas con his propios cargos, junto con sus propios cargos. His prestigious position has convertido him en a celebrity. Target tanto dentro como fuera de la estructura. Walls in prison.
Legitimate concern. No judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day. Oh, they treated this guy special and they gave him bond, and now he's gone and he fled from justice. So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. On the other hand, we deal with cases where clients have significant funds sometimes, and sometimes where there's money, you can craft a unique solution. Years ago it was the ankle bracelet and the ankle monitor.
But Q provoca. Diddy's narrativa is even more convincent. The manner in which it elucida the stark realities of existencia in the sistema de justicia criminal, particularmente para alguien de su rango, especially para alguien de su rango. A cargo del Metropolitan Detention Center, ubicado en. Actualmente, his apprehendido. Discreto por ex prisioneros y. Advocates as a sitio de intransigencia constante. Hardship has plagued the facility for some time. By scandals, incluyendo denuncias de corrupta, unsanitary atmospheres and omission for taking care of forestry. Diddy, who is familiar to the best of the best. Todo el proceso de transición a esta escenario ha sido nothing shy of. Shocking revelaciones de fuentes cercanas a él que impactan a shocking fuentes vinculadas a él. He has tenido dificultades para adaptarse, not únicamente, a las condiciones físicas, pero también a. The impacto psicológico de tener una ruptura emotional. Looking at the globe exterior from the eternal horizon.
Where his money could help us craft, he could build his separate jail cell, and we could keep him there. Just interesting to me that they sort of said, nope, you're going to be treated.
Despite los obstáculos que estos representan, Queens han visto a Diddy en las últimas semanas. Insist que he conserve su lucidez mental. Y se concentro en salvaguardar his derechos jurídicos, enfocandos en proteger sus derechos jurídicos. Team has been exhaustively esforzados to reach their goals. Logra su liberación, a pesar de their esfuerzos. Judges' efforts so far have resulted in vain. Repeatedly denied his bail requests. Citing inquietudes acerca de tampering con la vista de los testigos, señalando inquietudes acerca de la manipulación de la vista de los testigos. And flight risk, esto implica que Diddy. Es probable que permanezca behind bars until his fallecimiento. Trial inicia a prospecto que solo es a prospecto. Añadido a la prisión que el estabajo. Expertos en derecho han señalado que at the Metropolitan Detention conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center puede complicar su situación para él. Prepare aún más para su defensa to prepare for his defensa. Agravando una situación que es crítica.
Sierra, anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial. If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
Q image leaving a lot to questioner, leaving many to ponder. Acerca de sai su éxito se fundamento en a plataforma o sai su éxito se sustento en a plataforma. Cimentation Q resulto se considerablemente menos resistant Q la foundation Q resulto se mucho más stable. It emerged la discrepancia between el hombre y alguna vez few, pero he se ha transformado en el hombre he ha sido. A potent recordatorio de Q en velozmente. Las fortunas pueden variar incluso para alguna persona. As almost invincible as Diddy anadiria, a medida Q Diddy anadia. To the intrigue anadirian las rumors y. Rumors en torno a su tiempo y. Reports de detention han surgido. Implying Q Diddy shows a severe paranoid. Concerned acerca de su seguridad temiendo Q his seguridad se comprometida. El estatus de alto rango puede convertir a him en un personaje de alto prestigio, transformándolo en un posable objetivo de retention. Target, some even have rumored. His resistencia a consumer comodas de prisión a base de goma. From a tema a ser intoxicado cuando ACI sucede. Claims aun no verificadas, y estas evidencian lo Q a lo señalan. The únicos desafios Q enfrenta una persona. Of his position en a entidad como la misma. Similar Metropolitan Detention Center. Fame and riqueza de Diddy, el mea recluso. Estable ser como tanto a target como a fuente de recursos. Fascination añadiendo un nuevo nivel de. Añadiendo complejidad to his already difficile tarea. Contexto escenario.
They can't move in the general population, and would he be at risk? Sure, he'd be at risk. There's so many people that have nothing to lose, right? They're going to be in jail the rest of their life. They've got nothing else. They want their 15 minutes of fame. They were friends with Diddy, or they hurt Diddy, or they Diddy, or they did. I mean, there's so many, people in jail that this would be their moment. You can't put them there. Plus,
as vigilantes. También he destacado el marcado contrast between Diddy's actual realidad y la realidad Q enfrenta Diddy. Life he lavado apenas unos meses antes de morir. Cuando fu detenido, se observó que él disfrutaba de una comida. Day of lazy play in Central Park. Hacky sack and soak in the sunshine today. Aquella imagen de carefree Paris so una imagen distante. Memoria del hombre que una vez comandaba habitaciones. Con su carisma y seguridad horror, con su carisma y confianza. Spends his días in soledad, practicando grappling. Con el peso de sus circunstancias. Transformation es tan espectacular que it terra. Has dejado incluso a aquellas personas más cercanas a él. Fascinado.
What his team is trying to do is get the public to assume that the government is leaking some of this negative information about him, like that Cassie video. But the reality is, he's got a lot of enemies.
As Diddy's narrative continues to unfold, it suscitas significance inquietudes. Interrogations acerca de la esencia de la fame power. Why responsabilidad, como puede someone que tiene responsabilidades? Se parecia que todo terminaba en tal lugar. Situation difícil y que hazel. Opinions acerca de la experiencia y su impacto en la sociedad. Serves a prestigiosos individuos que encuentran agradables. Themselves posicionandos en el lado equivocado de la ley. Estas son interrogantes que probablemente tendrán respuestas. Continua to suscita controversy as Diddy's legal affairs remain in debate as Diddy's attorneys matters. Lucas se desenvuelven en los próximos meses para lograr. Actualmente, todas las miradas se centran en el hombre que alguna vez fu el hombre que siempre fu. Ruled the music sector está actualmente frente a una crisis. Lucha por su libertad que pueda tener. Determine el rumbo de la restación de su vida. Life the truth.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse. assault and at the hands of Diddy.
Of Shaw Diddy KS daughter. Actual life behind bars no s comparable or nothing. Short of a complete reversal from the luxurious high-profile existence he once. For décadas he ostentó que era el monarca de la gloria. Extravaganza, el máximo emblema de éxito en el ámbito de la música y la entretenimiento éxito en el sector de la música y la diversión. Ahora, he perceive himself aislado. To a inhumana y fría estancia que muchas personas frecuentan. Describen como uno de los más severos. Detention centers a nivel nacional. Metropolitan Prison Center in New York. Brooklyn, donde Diddy has sido detenido desde hace tiempo. September is famoso por su squalid stomach. Conditions y el impacto emocional que esto conlleva. Aco sus reclusos, pero que efecto tiene una jornada diaria. In Diddy's present life and de que manera. Has the hombre que alguna vez dominó el mundo. Entertainment world has started to adapt to. This Stark's latest realidad.
This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly.
Cada día comienza temprano para Diddy. Apart from the soothing mornings, he decided to retire from the lazy mornings. Once dilatandos en his majestuosos mansions. At the Metropolitan Detention Center in the penal facility. Candles incendiaron a las 6 a.m. Inmates are despertados to the violent clang of metal doors and the alaridos de los vigilantes. It's a contrast notable to the serene. He probably once spent some mornings sipping, while observing, brewing freshly brewed coffee while noticing his luxury waterfront propiedades at present. His MNS are identified by the rumbling of walking steps resonating in the corridor's hallways. The aroma of disinfectant while our perception visual de disinfectant. Peeling paint on the block de cinder. Las paredes de su propia cellula, la Diddy, son A distant escape from the luxurious alojamientos que alguna vez consideró como su casa. Indicando aproximadamente la tamaño de aparcamiento. Espacio tiene un narrow iron bed. A delgado mattress que se ha adherido al suelo. Apenas proporciona algún tipo de confort y combination sink toilet unit que apenas funciona. Características no plush bedding no. Luminosidad suave, solo el fulgor. Flores of the bulb over the head, which never quite permite que olvide donde está. Personal espacio is inexistent, privacy is inexistent. Is a lujo que he no posi y el beneficio de tenerlo. Las paredes alrededor de el person acrazas cada vez más. Con cada dia que transcurre.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
Shortly, breakfast is served. Cuando desperto, atravieso a través de un pequeño hueco. In the front of his chamber, the dinner is served. Simple y unappetizing eggs powdered a pedazo de bread blanco y un carton de chocolate. Milk for a persona que alguna vez dino en un restaurant. Ate at 5-star restaurants and loved it. Private chefs elaborando comidas gourmet. The adaptation has sido brutal, no hay excusa. Curiosidad que fuentes hayan afirmado que he evita consuma las comidas de prisión. Totalmente temiendo no solo a los sino también a los. Not only la calidad, but también la posibilidad de. Instead, he's reportedly been involved in tampering. Dependiendo de comisario productos preembalados. Snacks tales as chips, crackers, and instant sandwiches. Noodles, pero incluso esos incluyen. Restricciones dado que los reclusos están limitados in. How much pueden gastar cada 2 weeks? For a man habituado a ilimitado. The idea supplies the idea. Preparation of a budget for. Snacks deben parecer casi absurdos.
understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on watch.
And maybe the isolation is taking the. Reportedly, Diddy has tenido el mayor impacto en Diddy, currently located in the specially equipped housing unit. A menudo citado como solitary, encierro donde presos son segregados. To la generalidad de la población por tener there. De su propia protección o como un medio de castigo o como una forma de castigo. For Diddy, es probable que sea una combinación de ambos como a. His fame transforma him en un prestigioso recluso, transformándolo en un ídolo. Target en la población general donde. Jealousy and resentment can easily become jealousy and resentment. In violence, but in solitario reclusion. Vin con su propio conjunto de desafíos. Inmates en el departamento de alojamiento especial. Locked in their cells for 23 horas a la vez. De con apenas una hora permitida para usar. Ejercicio o una rápida ducha que horas. Pardu en un pequeño cage de espacio que proporciona. No real perception de freedom solo un resumen breve. Transformación de contexto la psicológica. Los efectos de tal aislamiento son notables. Investigations documentadas han demostrado que prolonged periods and confinement in solitude for a long period of time and solitary isolation puede causar anxiety, depresión e incluso puede provocar attacks de ansiedad y hasta depresión. Hallucinations para alguien como Diddy, who once prosperaron gracias a una constante interacción. And attention, la falta de interacción social. Tin que sentirse como a castigo en sí mismo. Agonizan los tiempos de intercambio de elbows con otras personas. Celebrities organizando extravagance eventos y acaparando la atención de millions de personas ahora. His universo se ha confinado a las cuatro paredes of his habitation con poco to distraer. From la carga de sus circunstancias, debido a la severidad de sus circunstancias.
Is very significant just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
De repesa de estos challenges, aunque aquellas personas cercanas a Diddy insisten. Que he mantiene su concentración y resolution. To resist los cargos presentados contra himself, his attorney. The legal equipo has been exhaustively laboring to organize his defensa, at the Metropolitan Detention conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center makes it a lot of challenges for him to completement involucras en his propio caso de exceso. To recursos jurídicos son escasos y his communication con sus abogados es frecuentemente limitado por las normas de la prisión. Even algo tan sencillo como la simple revisión de un libro, documentos o debate sobre estrategia. Necesita atravesar el laberinto de bureaucracy and obstáculos logísticos.
It's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years?
Addition A. The prison reside en el inminente examen which awaits which se prive que comience in May of este año. Stakes for Diddy couldn't be higher. Whose legado completo esta en constante fluctuation, cuyo legado esta en constante fluctuation. Should he be sentenced, he afronta la posibilidad de enfrentarse a la eventualidad de ser sentenciado. Opposable futuro de pesa décadas en prison. For someone, must parisa inimaginable. Aquella persona que alguna vez parisha untouchable, pero aun más, cuando parisha untouchable. He batalas para eliminar su nombre de la corte. Public perception has already comenzado to modificar las accusations contra el Hanjeco. Caused a tempestade de controversia con algunas personas,